So today I am covering a Disney Channel original movie, The Color of Friendship.
Different from you? You couldn't imagine ever being friends?
Mariba. Yes. The exchange student from Dunny, South Africa. You're the family?
Disney Channel presents a story about two kids from two different worlds who beat the odds.
Do you have any black friends at home, Mari?
They formed a friendship.
I'm glad I stayed.
Until prejudice threatened to tear them apart.
Pack your things. You won't be coming back.
They're trying to convince their parents to let them do a student exchange program. So Pepper is trying to convince her family to let them have an exchange student from South Africa come into their home for this program. And Marie is trying to convince her parents to let her go to America. And you can tell she's very fantasized and very romanticized America in, when she's talking to her family. And she has this idea of what America's going to be like. We'll have the parents both agree that they're going to let it happen, that they're going to let her go. When they get to the airport, though, Pepper and her mom, Roscoe, are really shocked to find that Marie is indeed white, and they were expecting a black South African student. So the shock about it. More Pepper, you can see, and then Marie thinks that they are there to get her bags. Marie was from a part of South Africa during this period of time in South Africa when apartheid was going on, and this means separation. So basically they separated black people from white people and they segregated them. Basically there was businesses, they were treated horribly, they were killed, injustice, it was horrible. So that's where Marie is coming from. And then she's coming into America. She was raised up into racism, and you can tell by the way she acts in the scene when she thinks that they're there to get her bags. So anyway, she's like, well, where's the congressman? They're like, oh, you're going to go meet him. And you go to the White House, and she goes in there, and you can see the look of shock on her face. In this scene, she's standing there talking about, she said, you got to be kidding me, when she realizes that Ron Dellums is black. And you can tell how she acts on her face. And then later on, we have a scene where they are going home, and she acts like she's so scared of them that she runs up to the room and locks herself in there and treats them just not very kindly. Eventually she comes out of the room, she's gonna stay, but you can tell she still carries some of, she's still carrying the things that she was taught, growing up. She's 14 in this movie, so I just wanted to put that out there. We also find out her father is a policeman who enforces apartheid in South Africa. We find this out into the movie. But you see them having, these girls start to form a bond. We also have a little bit of headbutting in here. We have fighting, and we have a lot of ignorance on Marie's part. She doesn't...
I still don't know what all that craziness was about. Stephen Biko. Yeah, Biko. Who cares? Just some crazy terrorist who...
Stand ignorance, because she does not understand why things were so bad, or when Stephen Biko, who was an actual person, was killed by the police, when her government said that he killed himself. It's very things that you can see her ignorance on it, that she was not knowledgeable about racism and the way that she was brought up. And the Dellums did a really good job, I think, in this movie of really educating her. But you see them fighting back and forth, the girls, and the arguing in these scenes. Well, then the South African embassy finds out that she is living with the Dellums and kidnaps Marie and takes her to the embassy, and they're going to put her on a plane and they're going to send her home. And this is against her will, because at this point she wants to stay with the Dellums. They don't want to listen to her. But then Ron Dellums comes in, and we see him in this scene. I love this scene. And he saves her, brings her back. But when she gets back, her and Pepper are having this conversation, and she's like, can I come visit you in South Africa? And you can see that Marie's face just kind of changes. Like, yeah, sure. And then, they go on to have a conversation about Stephen Biko, and I'll just show you guys a scene here. And they fight, Marie runs out, and then I also really like this scene where Marie is talking to Ron Dellums, and, she's talking about, she said, well, he, basically telling him that Piper could never come visit her in South Africa, and she wishes she could change that so much, but there's nothing that she can do. And of course, Ron Dellums, you've seen in the scene, he tells her, he said basically that South Africa will have to learn how America learned. And I just found this scene to be so good. And the very end of this movie, there's a scene in the end of the movie I'll show you guys where they're up talking about, you know, making new friends and like, I don't know, it was just...
Freedom from want and need, and finally, to be free from fear. These freedoms should be universal, but there are places in the world where they are just dreams for the millions of those who cry for them. I have a friend, a new friend from South Africa. And this friend recently told me a story about a unique bird found in her country.
It was beautiful, and I will show the scene here. And then you see Mari go home, and I'm going to do the deep dive now. If you guys want to know, Mari's real name was Carrie and has not been heard of since she was with the Dellums. I've found many resources saying that she was possibly killed for her work against the apartheid, that she'd come back to South Africa, and when she came back, she was trying to like break up this, had an underground movement against the apartheid, and I do not know if that is true. I cannot find a reliable source on whether she was killed or not. There's some interviews with the actual Pepper Dellum, and I will listen down below if you want to actually like read about her family. I have more information down below. This is an amazing movie, and if you don't watch any of the other movies I cover, I recommend you watch this one. I love this movie. I think this movie is so powerful, and I think it is the best movie that Disney has ever made so far in my eyes. Thank you guys for watching my commentary. Bye guys.